I'm Batman.
Though there is the obvious comparison to the Caped Crusader, the reason I wanted to build this deck was because my youngest son is named Timothy. So the idea of building him a Timothar Vampires deck sounded like a lot of fun. He rarely plays Commander, and even though I've built him a couple of decks that he requested, both of them are a little complicated for a beginner. So I wanted to keep it ultra budget and fairly simple. So here's my deck tech for a $50 Timothar Vampires deck. To start, let's take a look at the Commander and then decide what kind of deck we want to build. Timothar, Baron of Bats, is a 6-mana 4/4 legendary vampire noble with Ward, discard a card. This means that any spell or effect from our opponent that targets Timothar is countered unless they discard a card. Secondly, whenever a non-token vampire we control dies, we may pay 1 and exile it. If we do, we create a 1/1 black bat creature token with flying. It gains when this creature deals combat damage to a player, sacrifice it, and return the exiled card to the battlefield tapped. So, we want a lot of vampires, and we don't care about token vampires. We can return our creatures so we don't care if we sacrifice them. This won't be a full-on Aristocrats deck, because Aristocrats as an archetype is incredibly difficult to pilot, especially for a 13-year-old. At the end of the day, this deck will win by creating an army of vampires and attacking people over and over, which is a nice, simple strategy. Before we get started, let's keep in mind our checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. As I mentioned, we have a small Aristocrats package, but it is not the core theme of the deck. Let's take a look at our sacrifice outlets, including some card draw. We've got Indulgent Aristocrat, which can grow our army, Viscera Seer for card filtering, Village Rites, Altars Reap, Costly Plunder, and Victimize. For Aristocrat payoffs, we've got Midnight Reaper, Death Priest of Mirkul, Falconwrath Noble, Vindictive Vampire, Butcher of Malakir, and Open the Graves. Now, our commander does a great job of graveyard recursion if he's on the battlefield. But as additional ways to help with that, we've got Patriarch Spitting, the already mentioned Victimize, and Bloodline Necromancer. I've included a Desecrated Tomb, which is not only on theme, but synergizes very well with our commander. Because Desecrated Tomb triggers each time one or more creatures leaves your graveyard, it doesn't pair well with mass reanimation effects. But since Timothar is exiling creatures one at a time, this card will create a swarm of bats. But the core theme of our deck is turning creatures sideways and beating our opponents down the old-fashioned way. To accomplish this, we've got Knight of the Ebon Legion, Gifted Aetherborn, Dusk Legion Zealot, Bloodseeker, Vampire Nighthawk, Vampire Spawn, Henrika Domnathi, Bishop of the Bloodstained, Bloodlord of the Vazgoth, Malakir Bloodwitch, Necropolis Regent, and Sengir the Dark Baron. We also have Anwan the Ruin Sage to help clear blockers, Callous Bloodmage as our first piece of graveyard hate, Sanctum Seeker for mass life drain, Vito, Thorn of the Duskrose for more life drain shenanigans, and a Grey Merchant of Asphodel as our sudden I win card. Our spot removal consists of Feed the Swarm, Defile, Go for the Throat, Hero's Downfall, and Baleful Mastery. Professor's Warning and Swiftfoot Boots for protection, the Eldest Reborn for additional interaction, and Erebos' Intervention for flexible spot removal or a second piece of graveyard hate. Finally, Olivia's Wrath as a one-sided board wipe. For card advantage, we have the already mentioned Midnight Reaper, Village Rites, Costly Plunder, Altars Reap, and Victimize. Additionally, I've included Champion of Dusk, Sign in Blood, Blood Pact, Read the Bones, Ancient Cravings, Siphon Mind, and Greed. Mana ramp consists of Soul Ring, Charcoal Diamond, Arcane Signet, Mind Stone, Felwar Stone, Sisay's Ring, Hedron Archive, Worn Power Stone, Commander Sphere, Heraldric Banner, Solemn Simulacrum, Burnished Heart, and a Dark Ritual for good measure. For lands, we've got Myriad Landscape for additional ramp, a Bajuka Bog as a third piece of graveyard hate, and 35 swamps. Well, so let's see how our deck compares to our checklist. 50 mana sources, right on track. 12 pieces of card advantage, plus a commander that lets us recast any of our vampires. 8 pieces of spot removal, only 1 board wipe but lots of continuous forced sacrifice effects. 3 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. So the deck checks all the boxes, is easy to pilot, but still fun to play. Perfect for a young teenager. There are also easy upgrades you could go for. To start, you could get better mana rocks like Gauntlet of Power, Nyx Lotus, or Jet Medallion. More card draw through Stinging Study, Twilight Prophet, or Phyrexian Arena. And stronger vampires like Captivating Vampire, Vampire Nocturnus, Drana, Liberator of Malakir, or Blood Artist. How would you build Timothar? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my daughter Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, there's a link to her Fiverr page below. I'm doing a push and trying to post new videos every weekday for the next few months, so look forward to lots of new videos in the future. Or you can click here for more budget Commander content. I've also started a Patreon. You can click the link below or go to patreon.com/Danon. Stay safe, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.